Welcome back, NCIS family. Today, we are not just discussing a fan theory, we are cracking open a cold case that goes back to the very foundation of the franchise. We are talking about the moment that changed everything. The basement, the sniper rifle, and the single shot that ended the life of Ari Haswari. For nearly 2 decades, we have believed that the dark chapter of Ari Haswari was closed forever. We watched Ziva David make the ultimate sacrifice to save Gibbs, killing her own half-brother to prove her loyalty and protect the man who would effectively become her father. But in the world of espionage, and especially in the complex history of NCIS, the past never truly stays dead. With the announcement of the new Tony and Ziva spin-off set in Europe, a massive theory has begun to circulate that fits perfectly with the show's themes of legacy and bloodlines. The question we are asking today is terrifying. What if Ari Haswari left something behind? What if the main villain hunting Tony and Ziva across Europe isn't a new character, but the secret son of Ari Haswari coming to claim a debt of blood? To understand why this theory is so plausible, we first have to look at the character of Ari Haswari himself. Before he was revealed as the monster who killed Kate Todd, Ari was charming, sophisticated, and incredibly manipulative. He was a doctor, a seducer, and a man who lived a double life across Europe, specifically spending significant time in Edinburgh and Paris. It is entirely within the realm of possibility that during his years operating as a Mossad double agent, he fathered a child. If we look at the timeline, Ari died in 2005. If he had a child shortly before his death, or perhaps a young child he was keeping secret even then, that son would now be in his early to mid-20s. This is the perfect age for a primary antagonist, old enough to be physically dangerous and highly trained, but young enough to be driven by a raw, youthful rage that hasn't been tempered by time. This theory gains even more weight when we look at the location of the new spin-off. We know Tony and Ziva are on the run in Europe. Why Europe? Ari Haswari was deeply embedded in European operations. He wasn't just based in Israel or DC. He had safe houses, contacts, and likely bank accounts scattered across the continent. If he had a son, it is highly likely that the child was raised in Europe, perhaps by a mother who despised Ziva and the Americans. This potential son wouldn't just be a thug with a gun. He would be an heir to Ari's vast intelligence network. He would have access to the resources, the secrets, and the encrypted files that Ari left behind. This explains how the villains in the new show seem to have such high-level intelligence on Tony and Ziva's movements. They aren't just being hunted by mercenaries, they're being hunted by a ghost who knows their history better than they know it themselves. Finally, for this first part of our analysis, consider the thematic structure of NCIS. The show has always been obsessed with the concept of sins of the father. We have seen this with Tony and Sr., with Gibbs and Jackson, and most tragically with Ziva and Eli David. Ziva spent her entire life trying to escape the shadow of her father, Eli. It would be a poetic, albeit tragic, twist if she is now forced to confront the shadow of her brother. Imagine a villain who looks like Ari, smiles like Ari, and possesses the same terrifying intelligence, but is fueled by a singular narrative that his father was a hero betrayed by his own sister. This villain wouldn't see Ziva as an NCIS agent or a hero. He would see her as the traitor who murdered his father in cold blood. This sets up a villain who believes he is the hero of the story, making him the most dangerous kind of enemy Tony and Ziva could ever face. Thanks for watching.